Hi, my name is Jennifer Evans. I'm the ELA consultant at St. Clair County RESA, and we are starting a new project called Guided Reading by the Month, where we will have kindergarten through 5th grade teachers videotape a guided reading lesson as they progress through the school year, so that you will be able to see what the teachers do in the beginning of the year and how they set up the routines and procedures, all the way through what's taking place as students learn the work that they are applying in guided reading into their independent practice. So we hope you enjoy this episode of Guided Reading by the Month.
Well, today we're going to read Chapter 6, and Chapter 6 is all about Rob making a decision to stick up for Sistine, which is a huge deal for Rob because he's not a very confident person, is what we found out in the past, right? He's not very confident in sticking up for himself, let alone for somebody else. So we'll kind of see how that goes today. But before we start reading, I want you to turn to page 18, and I want you to, in the first paragraph, there's the word buoyed. Buoyed. Sorry, buoyed. The first paragraph. Put your finger on it when you find it. Found it? Did you find it, Nate?
I'm looking for it. Is it?
Yep. So buoyed, you've heard of a buoy before probably to go along with a ship. And in this case, they're talking about something being buoyed. It means that it's keeping it from sinking. And we're actually going to talk a little bit more about that because it goes along with the similes and metaphors that we've been talking about. Okay? So when you get to that point, remember it's talking about something to keep something from sinking. And then I want you to turn to page 20. We'll write our vocab words down at the end so you don't have to worry about that yet. Turn to page 20 and find the word gravelly. You can look at my finger. It's about 1/3 of the way down the page at the end of a line. Gravelly on page 20. Did you find it, Bradley?
It's that means you kind of bow.
Gravelly means they're talking about somebody's voice sounding gravelly in this instance, and a gravelly voice is very harsh or hard. It's not a comforting, it's the opposite of a comforting voice. It means a pretty harsh and hard sounding voice. Okay, so when you get to that, realize what that means. Okay, go ahead and flip your book over for just a second. So today we're coming back full circle. Remember at the beginning of the year we talked about all those comprehension strategies, the 7 comprehension strategies? It's super important that we're continuing to use those. And today we're going to look at 4 comprehension strategies that we've already talked about. And when you get done reading chapter 6 today, I'm going to ask you to share with me 1 comprehension strategy that you used and how you used it. Okay? So the first one that you have a possibility of choosing is questions, and you're going to ask yourself, I wonder. Secondly, you could also make a connection where it starts out, this reminds me of. Now, we talked about 3 different kinds of connections, but it's been a while. Does anybody remember we had text to 3 different kinds? Text to text is one, to another book or a magazine or a comic or a newspaper article, whatever it was. Text to world, the world around you, and text to self. Very good. And predictions, I bet I know what's going to happen next. Okay, using some information, some good clues, and a prediction can also turn into an inference when you're using the background knowledge to make it. Okay, and then finally a visualization where you can imagine what something not only looked like, but sounded like, tasted like, smelled like, any of those senses that you're using. So to clarify, one more time, while you're reading chapter 6, at the end, I'm going to ask you to share which one of these you used, at least one, because hopefully they're kind of becoming second nature and you're using them without even realizing it. Share one of them that you used and how you used it. So like if you used visualization, well, what was your visualization that you made? Okay? We good? Understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and get started. You okay?
Yeah, it happens.
Here, I'm going to listen to you read first. Can you put it down for me so I can see where you're at?
He flew through the rest of the morning. He went to math. He went to math class and civics and science. His heart light be buoyed.
Yes, there's that word we talked about.
Buoyed by the knowledge that he would never have come back. At lunch, he sat on the benches in the in a breezy way.
I want you to look at this word one more time because you did a really good job sounding it out, but breeze, the E at the end wouldn't say E. It wouldn't say breezy, so it would just be breeze. That E is silent. Breeze way.
Breeze way.
Okay.
He did not go into the lunchroom. Norton and Billy, three Munger, were there, and nothing had tasted good to him since his mother died, especially not the food that at the school. It was worse than the food his father tried to cook. He sat on the bench and unfolded his drawing of the tiger. His fingers itched.
Go back, Christine. There's one word. Let's see if you can pick it up.
He sat down on the bench and unfolded his drawing of the tiger. And his fingers itched to start making it in wood. It was sitting like that, swinging his leg.
What did we say? It was sitting like that, swinging his legs?
No, he was sitting like that, swinging his legs, studying the drawing, but studying the drawing. When he heard shouting at a high-pitched buzz of excitement like crickets that the children made for something like crickets. That the children made when something was happening.
You know what I found really interesting what you just did? Let me tell you what you did. Like crickets that the children made when something was happening. Do you know your mistake? Like crickets that the children made when something was happening. No, you did okay with that, but you said a different word. I'll just say it one more time. Like crickets that the children made when...
Instead of kids, I put children.
Yeah, so you obviously read kids because you knew that children made sense, but you said children instead of kids. So let's just make sure it would make sense there, and it didn't change the meaning at all, but it doesn't exactly match the print that's there. So let's make sure that you're making sure you're reading the words that are there instead of substituting, okay? You're all set. You can read in your head and you can read it. Brian, I'd like to listen to you. What page are you on? 20 at the top. Okay.
They heard him then and turned to him. It was quite for a minute. Who are you talking to? A big girl with black hair asked. Yeah, I know, the girl said. Who do you think you're talking to? Go away, Christine. In her gravelly voice.
Can you go back and read that sentence because we missed a word?
Go away, Christine, muttered in her gravelly voice. But she didn't look at him. Her yellow hair was stuck in her forehead with sweat.
Would we say, does that sound quite right? Her yellow hair was stuck in her forehead with sweat.
To her forehead.
Good. Okay.
The girl with the black hair pushed up close to him. She shoved him. Leave her alone, Rob said again. You're going to make me, the black hair girl said.
Can I stop you right there? I want you to go back, now that you know what that sentence says. How would the black-haired girl say that? How do you think she would sound if she said that sentence? Why don't you try it for me? Do you think she'd just say, you're going to make me?
You're going to make me.
How do you think she would say that? Is she angry? Is she happy? What kind of tone? She's angry. So can you try to say it with some anger there, like Mrs. Streeter does when she's reading to us?
You're going to make me. The black girl. The black girl said, they were all looking at him, waiting. He was doing too. They were looking at him do something. Looked down at the ground and saw what they had thrown at him. It was an apple. He stared at it for what seemed like a long time, and when she looked up, they were all still waiting to see what he was doing.
You can read that now. Riley, can you finish up reading?
He was saving Sistine Bailey. Why he tried to save Sistine Bailey?
That didn't make sense, did it? Don't be afraid to go back and read.
Why he would try to save her?
Riley, can I stop you? So pick your head up instead of resting it, and then there you go. Why?
Why he tried to save Sistine Bailey?
One more time.
Why he would try to save Sistine Bailey? Why he would want to save somebody who he could save. He just knew, and the bell rang before they caught him. He was late for English class because he had to walk from the gym all the way to the front of the school, and he did not know where his wallet or the charger was, but he still had Mr. Kimball's note in his back pocket, and that was all that truly mattered to him. The note that proved that he would never have to come back.
Okay, so I don't want to say this sentence right here. It was kind of tricky because at first when you started reading it, usually when we start a sentence with why, you're going to ask, it's going to be a question, right? But this is a pretty complicated sentence that didn't necessarily make sense until the end. So sometimes it's okay to go back and reread, because even I had to. It says, why would he try to save Sistine Bailey, or why he, see, I just messed up too. Why he would try to save Sistine Bailey. Why he would want to save somebody who hated him. He couldn't say. So it kind of makes more sense when you get to the end of the sentence. You kind of reverse the order of it, right? So don't be afraid to go back and reread that when you need to. Here, did you finish up? Okay.
This is my second time around.
Yep, we're this way. Did you make one of these? Do you have something in mind to share? Okay. You have one? Do you have one? And you? Do you have one of these to share? You don't, go back and look. All done? Okay. Let's go around and did you find one of these, Kira, to share? Okay, so let's start with you then, Kira. We'll go around and Nate, you'll be last. Show me which strategy you used and be specific about how you used it.
Like, I visualized like him like sitting down on the bench, unfolding his piece of paper, and then you have to like using his fingertips, like to like
Because he wasn't really itching, was he?
no.
Okay, so that wasn't a literal itching, but you can see him sitting on the bench, and then he starts talking about how he really wants to whittle that wood, right? His fingers were itching to start whittle, so you could kind of picture him sitting on the bench, he's swinging his legs there, so you had a visualization about what he looked like, right? And then maybe even his legs kind of have a rash on them and stuff. What did you use, Ian?
When Rob was trying to stick up his sister, I sticked up for my friend.
Okay, so you had a connection to self because you stuck up for somebody before. What about you, Brian? Bradley?
I question that I want to still have that and make that go along with it.
Oh, you wonder if he's going to return back and kind of put an end to it instead of continuing to run? Okay, Bradley?
Why he ran.
You wonder why he ran? What do you mean by that?
Because he ran when he saw the apple.
He ran when he saw the apple. Okay, so you have a question about that. Nate? Which one did you
I have a connection because my dad became first started cooking. His food was not so good.
Don't tell Dad you said that. Okay?
I'm not.
So Dad's food wasn't so great at the beginning.
But
either.
yeah, now he's better at it.
Okay, good. A little practice, huh?
My mom had to help him.
Yes, I'm sure. Okay, let's turn back to page 18 because I want to talk about something that we started talking about at the beginning. I want you to look at the first paragraph. And it says, Rob floated through the rest of the morning. He went to math class and civics and science, his heart light, buoyed by the knowledge that he would never have to come back. Now we know that this isn't a literal sense of the word buoyed. We know his heart isn't being buoyed up like so that it doesn't sink, right? So what do you think he's meaning by that? His heart was light, buoyed by the knowledge that he would never have to come back. What do you think they mean? What do you think?
Saved.
What do you mean by saved?
The principal gave him a note and it said, Mr. Carl was in his back pocket and that was that true wanted. He wrote back to the black.
Okay, good. So he's kind of feeling like he was saved. His heart is light, he's kind of carefree. He was saved by the fact that he didn't have to come back to school because we know Rob didn't really like school because he's not treated very nicely. Okay, and then I also wanted to talk about at the end, look on page 20, the bottom of page 20. I'm going to start reading this paragraph that starts with and so, because I want to talk about that. It says, and so he ran, and after a minute, he could tell that they were running after him. He didn't need to look back to see if they were there. He knew it. He knew the feeling of being chased. What does that mean? How do you know the feeling of being chased, and why would Rob know that? What do you think they mean by that?
I think he knew the feeling of being chased because he was chased before by someone because they were like making fun of him.
So we can kind of make an inference. So you know that sometimes if people are mean to you in the past, maybe he was being chased before as well. Because we know from the book that Billy and what's the other kid's name? Norton, right? Billy and Norton were really mean to him, and maybe they've chased him in the past, even though the book hasn't told us that. They kind of just alluded to that and gave us some information that tells us that he has been chased before. Okay? Right now, we can turn to our vocab, to your vocab page. Let's add those couple words we talked about. Okay, so you still need to add the definition though. Oh, you put it in your binder already? Okay, let me see. Open up so I can check it out. So buoyed, if you want to find it, it's on page 18. It's B-U-O-Y-E-D. Yeah, B-U-O-Y-E-D. And it means to keep from sinking. To keep from sinking. You're ahead of the game. How would we spell sinking? Sink. You were right with the S. What would come next? Ink. Ink. There you go. Now ing to keep from sinking. And it looks like we have gravelly. And gravelly means harsh or hard sounding. Harsh or hard sounding. Harsh. Do you need the E there? Harsh. That would be harish. There you go. of you that are done, you may return to your seat. You did a nice job today. You can finish up. This means keep from sinking.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Guided Reading by the Month. We'll see you next time.